Hey, Groovy Gardeners. So, wanted to talk to you guys about being self-sufficient. Um, part two, right? And what this is in my front yard. This is a pollinator bed that attracts bees and other type of hummingbirds and things like that to my garden. So from my front yard, they'll see these. Well, right now I have a bee buzzing around me, but right along with this tangerine tree. So the flowers are already pollinated, they're producing oranges already, but there was a lot of flowers on here, and that'll attract them here. So this is what they see when they fly by, and this attracts them to my house. But once again, this is another example of being self-sufficient. I use these logs to make this bed, right? Utilizing what I have. Same thing with here. I use rocks as a bed, right? For this aloe vera, rocks as a bed, rocks, even bricks, right? As a border, as what I have. Also, drawers. These are just some drawers that I found sitting around, and I grew many things out of them. Sometimes what I like to utilize this as a seed starter. I'll start seeds in here and then dig them out and then plant them elsewhere. It's a great way to do it. Here's another bed that I'm using to grow radishes. And look at the radishes here, guys. You see how big? These radishes are huge. Icicle radishes. Very good. And I use just this drawer, right? I'm also growing potatoes. These are all potatoes in here on this side. I got this in here. I'm not sure what this is. I've been thinking it was a melon, but I'm starting to think it's a cherimoya tree. I'm not sure. I have a lot of cherimoya seeds, and I probably threw a lot of cherimoya seeds down. Here goes an orange, baby orange tree from seed. And like I said, I'll actually just plant from seed in these and then transplant them later. It's very, very helpful, very useful. Here's some bricks that I chose to grow out of. I just have pots holding the bricks with some aloe vera and a little baby guava seed. This I use as a little it's a little barbecue pit that I use to make biochar. So I just put wood chips in there with other organic material like pine, because pine is like a natural gasoline. It'll light fire really good. And then I don't use any gas or anything like that. I just make sure I use pure organic material to catch fire, let it burn for a while, and create biochar, then make that available to the garden. Once again, using rocks as a border. I was growing peanuts in there. Now I'm growing garlic. Here's another example of a container that I had that I just filled in here with native dirt that I had, just some food scraps like pineapple tops and things like that, peanut shells and everything. I just filled it up, and then I had a box laying around, so I cut out a box to fit the sides. So I put cardboard around the sides and I believe on the bottom, and then I filled it with organic material. Then I start growing plants out of it. And as you can see, there's several different types, and these I let grow more wild. I don't really tend to these plants, but they do quite well. And you see they're going to seed. I'm not going to harvest these because I didn't take too well of a job. I didn't do a good job growing these. I just left them alone wild. So they'll be real adaptable. They'll drop seeds and grow more plants here, and I'll allow them to. Here's one of my favorites. Here's an example of me growing in the air. So this plant isn't attached to nothing on the floor. It's actually hanging in the air, utilizing stuff that I had laying around, right? So I'm using a crate that I had laying around. I did put cardboard like the last one at the bottom, right? And then I put some in the back right here, and then the rest of the sides are exposed. And I have many different things. I had melons growing out of this side, but it overwintered and died, and they were hanging down. I have green onions hanging out this side. Here goes some guava trees. I'm pretty crazy. And I had like basil growing out this side, but it was they overwintered and died, so I got to get some more seeds in here and get some more crops going, right? Also, this, like I said, being self-sufficient, guys, I utilize watering this to water this. So after I water this, it would actually drip water down to watering this and watering that. So guys, got to be self-sufficient. Recycle. Utilize what you have. I didn't have to go buy any. I already had this laying around. I already had this rope laying around. I just tied it to the tree. Right? Utilize what you have. Here's another example. I had some papayas growing out of here. They overwintered and died. But this is just a pot and a plant bag, and I just hung it from the ceiling. Right? So I had some beautiful plants coming from here. They overwintered and died. But that's just another example for you guys. Being self-sufficient. I had all these things laying around. The papaya was from seed, so I had that. The dirt was all around, native and all types of dirt I had around. The pot I had and the bag I had. The nail was already there as well. Here, these are just some tubes that I had laying around the yard. My son found, and they have holes in them. Go straight through, and they have holes on the side. So I stick them in here, and they utilize watering different areas a lot better than it gets the water. It gets the water deep down in there and spreads it out evenly, right? So I like utilizing these. These I just had laying around. Here's another example. Cut this open. You fill it with water. It'll slowly drip water. Same method. 2 chopsticks. Taped it around, and it slowly drips water. Here is a type of like ark that I built outside of my house. Usually I have like a blanket up there covering because I'm in Nevada, I'm in the desert, so it gets very hot for my plants. So utilizing what I had as a base, I used a pot that was already around as for it to stay there. I just use native dirt, which is clay. So I wet it, I put it in there, then I wet it and let it solidify into like clay cement, and then that is now there permanently, or semi. Yeah, I could easily take this down. But just using a wood that I already had. I already had this wood, I just chopped it. Same thing with this piece. This piece was, I just already had this frame. I just laid it out. And then utilizing nails, I just sat it on top of some nails up there, right? Same thing with these curtains. These curtains I just already had, and I utilized them for shade for my patio right there. All right, so being self-sufficient doesn't always mean you don't need to buy things. So sometimes it means buying things individually that you can utilize to make something that will make you self-sufficient, correct? So what I did was I actually made this. This is something that hooks up to my water hose, and I just plug it in here. Give me 1 second. Okay, so I just plug it in there, right? And as you can see, it will spout out through there. Then it keeps going. It'll sprout out through there. Keeps going. It will sprout out through there. Sorry guys. Sprout out through there. And you see, it goes here, then turns. And then it'll sprout out through there, right? And utilizing that, I don't have to be hand watering out here. I can just plug that in, turn it on, go in the house and let it simmer in here for a while, and this part will actually water this whole area down here, right? And that's just being self-sufficient. I actually built this in one of those big box stores. So like I said, you guys can definitely be self-sufficient. It doesn't have to be so expensive. Try utilizing what you have sometime. All right, so these are my grapes. These are some hooks that I got from the 99-cent store. Right, utilizing what I have. I just put 2 of them sideways here and put one like that, and I'm training my grapes to go up, 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 and then cover that awning. That way they could be a blanket and I don't have to put a blanket up there anymore. They could cover that whole top and then hang down grapes. As well as right here, they can hang down grapes as soon as this guy gets long enough to reach and hold on right here, which he's on his way. Right. Utilizing what I have, guys. If you see this is just an extension cord cut with tape to hold it together, which I had all this already, right? This is just sitting around, right? And I could even put the plant intertwined in here, right, to help it train it go up to that hook I already had. It's being self-sufficient, guys. Don't always have to spend money. As you can see, it's working to train the grapes to go up. So it's almost there. We're almost there. But I do want to talk to you guys and thank you guys for stopping by. If you guys learned something today, please subscribe. Give us a thumbs up. We really appreciate it. Everybody who's tuned in, and everybody who will be tuning in the future. We got a lot more to talk about. Okay, we got a lot more to talk about, and I'll be showing everyone how to grow their own produce and you know, if we knew better, we'll do better. So let's work on it together, guys. Thank you, guys. Please subscribe. Please give me a like. Comment down below. Don't be scared to comment. Let's talk about it. Have a groovy day.